This segment of the show is brought to you by the PGA Tour Superstore. See why golfers everywhere are proud to call PGA Tour Superstore their golf pro shop. Visit them online at pgasuperstore.com. Now, back to you, Chris.
And now joining me on the French Lick Resort guest line is Rhonda Ferguson. Let me give you some background on Rhonda. She is from Tampa, Florida. Played her college golf at the University of Florida, where she also earned her BA in English. She is a PGA and LPGA Class A teaching professional. She's been the Director of Sales, Marketing, and Membership at the Country Club of Orange Park down in Orange Park, Florida. She's been a teaching professional at San Jose Country Club in Jacksonville. She is currently a tournament director for the Northern Florida Girls Golf, as well as being the owner and general manager of Riverbend Golf Links in Jacksonville. And here are just, some of the awards that Rhonda has won or been recognized for recently. She won the 2017 North Florida PGA Northern Chapter Player Development Award. She was the 2017 Honorable Mention for U.S. Kids Top 50 National Instructor. She received the 2016 North Florida PGA Northern Chapter and North Florida Section Youth Player Development Award. And she was a 2013 PGA Junior League Captain of the Year finalist. And I am honored that she is here with me tonight on Next on the Tee. Hey, Rhonda, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
So, Rhonda, I want to start by going all the way back to the beginning with you. As a kid growing up in Tampa, when did you first start playing golf, and who was the first person to put a golf club in your hands?
Well, it's kind of interesting that you asked that question because I did not start playing until I was a freshman in high school. And
wow.
The person that, I started playing at 15, and I ended up playing at Florida 4 years later. And we had just won the national championships back-to-back a few years before that. So I was very fortunate to play. And Roger Maris' son, Kevin Maris, was the one that taught me to play down in Gainesville.
Really?
Really? So I used to play golf with Roger before he got sick. So yeah, Kevin's still a friend to this day, and I, owe everything to him for teaching me the game.
So that's an amazing story on many levels. But just to think that you didn't pick up a golf club until you're 15, and 4 years later you're playing on a national championship level golf team. A natural, obviously, right? You pick up a golf club. So tell me. First time you play, what'd you shoot?
Oh, I'm not sure I could count that high. I don't.
Well, you must have taken it to it pretty quickly.
Well, it was interesting because I played tennis, I played soccer, and all the years of playing different sports and teaching, I found so many good golfers, the correlation between that they played soccer in their youth or even as an adult. So I guess the hand-eye coordination, somehow that fits in with the golf. And I played, actually, I wanted to play at the college level, but back then they only had Division III schools, and Florida only had rec teams for soccer. So that was kind of my first sport of choice, but then kind of fell into golf, and that's my passion and has been lifelong since then.
So, Rhonda, was there an event or a moment in time when you said to yourself, you know what, I'm actually pretty good at this. I might want to focus on golf?
Yeah, there was. In golf, you always want to set goals, and that's what I always try to teach my students. You don't want to play against other people. You just want to set a goal, compete against yourself, because, not everyone can go out and be LPGA or PGA Tour player, and when we try to accomplish that, you just get frustrated. So I actually had goals that I set as an amateur, and I accomplished all those goals, and I won a state championship, and said, I've done everything that I've done as an amateur, and now I love the game. I love to help people learn the game, and that's when I decided to turn professional, compete competitively, and get my Class A on the PGA and LPGA side.
So going back to your time at Florida, Rhonda, with so many really good golf programs, obviously, throughout the state of Florida and, in the Southeast, right? Why Florida? Why the University of Florida?
I've always been a Gator. So my family's been Gators, and so that was just the first choice. And it's a great school, and I've been a great experience, and I'll look back at it. And I still have friends to this day. My teammates are still friends, even the ones that I visit in China.
So when you're looking back at it, what's your favorite memory from being a Lady Gator?
Oh gosh, the friendships, the lifelong friendships. So we always had a really good time together as a team. I recently just played again with a teammate in a pro-am. She's still an amateur, and we sit back and laugh about all the crazy things we did as college students. And the golfers back then, we weren't exactly the real studious, gung ho. We were kind of like, hey, we want to enjoy this. We want to enjoy college, and we want to have a good time. So it was just a great experience. We had more of a time. Our team was very close. So it was just the point of building lifelong friendships that are still there to date.
And Rhonda, you've had a lot of success in the game, particularly when you were younger there, going through college and the things that you achieved in the state championship and all of those things. What made you decide to be a teaching professional as opposed to potentially turning pro?
I just at my age I waited quite some time, and so in that. Unless you're young now and you're right out of college and you work really hard, because the game is at a much higher level, I think, now, with the ability and the fitness and everything involved now on the tours, that I knew that I really didn't have the opportunity to do that. So, my goal still is to play in some Legends events, and I still play competitively in our PGA and LPGA teaching professional tournaments. But I think at this point, it's just my passion for helping people learn the game and enjoy it.
And Rhonda, for our listeners who don't know what the Class A designation means, plus what it takes to be a Class A teaching professional, talk about what you had to do and what you had to go through to get that designation.
Sure. It's basically a college degree. So it's like anything else. If you're a doctor or lawyer, you can't just go out and say, hey, I'm a doctor. So it's going through a tremendous amount of education and training and real life work experiences. So all that put together, and we still have to maintain ongoing education and community service, and that's what's great about it. It's just something as a teaching professional that you can keep learning, and that's what we do. Like next week when we go to the PGA show for the week, we'll all get together, thousands and thousands of professionals, and it's more of a, hey, what are you doing at your club, or what did you teach here, and how can we make it better? So it's a great organization, both, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of PGA and LPGA. I know there's approximately, there's only a couple hundred of us that are dual members. So it's just been very interesting between the two, between the PGA and LPGA, and learning how each organization operates differently, yet there's so many congruent things together that you can learn from, and the different people.
And talk about the education part. What is the ongoing education piece? We have coaching summits, we have just marketing classes, we have, the main thing now that's big in the PGA and LPGA is diversity and inclusion. So we have speakers that, we're really trying to open up the golf world to everyone. And that's always been my goal, is for every person, regardless of age, race, income level, to be able to play golf and enjoy it. Because as you probably know, the biggest two reasons why people don't play golf is financial and time. So I think that's important that we open up those areas of diversity and inclusion so that everyone can learn and enjoy the sport. And Rhonda, when you're working with younger players, I'm really curious to get your thoughts. How do you keep young players interested in coming back to practice and play versus, what so many kids do is sit at home and play video games?
Well, we make it fun. So kind of our quote at our golf course is "Make golf fun again," and that's a friend of mine, Locke Kyle. He has trademarked that, believe it or not, and that's what we try to do. We we make things to where all of our clinics and camps and all of our programs, even with our girls golf program, are not for profit, that we have events all throughout the area. Kids are learning, but they don't know they're learning. So it's almost like you said, like a video game, but it's real life. They're playing golf. So we'll make it fun with games like golf baseball and tic-tac-toe putting and billiards putting and just all different things to where they're thinking, you know what, this is kind of cool. This is fun. This is not like mom and dad are making me do this. So I think that's the key, that you've got to make it fun for the kids.
And you do a lot of work with tournaments. As I mentioned in your intro, you're a tournament director for Northern Florida Girls Golf. When you're talking to girls and you're teaching girls and the girls playing in these tournaments, how do you help them handle tournament pressure for the first time?
Well, my theory, whether it's young children or adults, I think the main thing for pressure is that golf is fun. Enjoy it. It's a sport, and go out and hit one shot at a time. And that's the key. When you stand on the first tee, you just want to hit one shot. And you're going to have a bad hole. You're going to have a bad shot. It doesn't matter who you are. Every single person that plays the sport, that happens. So, perfect example, the other day, I was playing in an event and finished the round, and the group I was playing with said, hey, nice round. I'm like, oh, wow, what did I shoot? I don't know. Because I hit one shot at a time, and then you add it up at the end, because, to be honest, it is what it is, right? I mean, you can't take it back. So the more we stay in the moment and the more we enjoy the moment and just play one shot at a time, and that's to everyone. I'm like, you know what? Go out there, have fun. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Hit one shot at a time, and then add it up in the end, and it is what it is.
So to that point, right, and that's a great thought. Because what you said earlier, we all have a bad hole. We all have a bad shot. For kids that may not have the patience, or they get down on themselves, how do you teach them to put the bad swing or the bad hole behind themselves so that it doesn't end up being a string of bad holes?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with different levels. I mean, I teach different levels. So when you're working with kids that are just beginners or slightly in an intermediate that aren't at that tournament level yet, you just want to keep promoting that it's fun, it happens, and then, maybe I'll hit a couple shots purposely where I'm like, oh, look, I just hit it in the water. And then they're like, well, okay, if she can do that, then I don't feel so bad. And then when you get to the tournament level, I think the most important thing is that the parents, I've seen it too many times, is don't put too much pressure on your children, especially when they're young, because they'll end up not enjoying the sport. So I think the key still is just don't let things bother you. Go out and have a good time. All you got to do is focus on the few seconds that you have to execute the shot. Just go out there, do your best, have fun, and then at the end of the day, you know what? It's just a game. That's what it is for the kids, and that's what I try to tell them. And even the parents, I'm like, you know what? I've had to have many talks with them. I'm like, your child is not going to enjoy this game if you keep saying, why did you do that? Why did you hit a bad shot? I mean, they're kids. You got to let them be kids, and I think that's the most important thing.
Rhonda, on the lady side, what are some of the things that you're either doing or you're involved with that try to help bring more women into the game of golf? On some of the committees in our section level that I'm involved with, they're really working hard. And I give the PGA credit now. They understand that, this is important, that we're losing a lot of golfers. We're not getting more golfers. So we need to really focus on women. And for me, what I've always done is that I want to put myself out there, so I compete in all of our events. And as you know, talking to people and other PGA professionals, that, a lot of these guys still play in tour events, whether it's on the Champions or PGA Tour, and I'm competing against these guys. I'm not playing the same tees, but I'm out there, and I want to show all these women that, hey, just get out there and do it. You can do it. You can play. Don't be intimidated. And I think that's always been a big factor, is that women are intimidated. So I try to do a lot of things. We just had a boot camp on Saturday for women. We had a full day of, hey, we're going to get out there
it's freezing out, but we're going to have fun and we're going to do drills, and most of them are beginners, and we want to make it not intimidating. We want to just have fun drills that they can do as partners, and I think that's important too, is to, a lot of ladies like to partner up. They don't want to feel intimidated. They don't want to feel like it's real competitive when they're starting. And, you know, you do obviously have some ladies that are very competitive. I mean, obviously, I'm competitive. A lot of my friends are. But when they're starting out, I think that's important that a lot of these ladies, they just want to get out there and feel comfortable. And that's the key, is just being comfortable and starting from the beginning with, like, our Get Golf Ready for Ladies classes. You know, it's strictly for ladies so that they don't have to be intimidated by anybody. And, you know, because a lot of them say, well, this is a stupid question. You know, what is a shaft? What is a grip? Well, it's not a stupid question, but, you know, around some of the men, they might think, well, gosh, they just think I'm a dummy. And so I think it's important just to comfort levels.
Rhonda, you're also the owner and general manager of Riverbend Golf Links there in Jacksonville. Talk about your golf course.
You know, it's a great place. It's a public course. It's been around since 1950, and it's almost like a Donald Ross. It's small greens, and it's just very casual. Our what's the word I'm looking for? Our creed is that no dress code, no tee times, just come have fun. So once again, it's back to that, hey, make it fun, make it casual, you know, just, you don't have to worry about what you're wearing, just come have a good time. The previous owners didn't really do a lot. I just took over in May, so they didn't have leagues, they didn't have events, they just had 3 play days, there was no pro shop per se. So we've made quite a few changes in the past 7 months just to make it more enticing. And in the area, it's just a small town outside of Jacksonville, and it's mainly retirees. A lot of snowbirds, except for right now where it's almost snowing here. So it's not been conducive to play. Yeah, it's just a neat little course, neat little public course.
So it is. That's a very interesting approach, right? Particularly the no dress code, right? That's not something that you typically see at golf courses, you know, public or not. So curious to get, you know, how has that gone over? How is, you know, if you look back and you said you've been there less than a year, but if you look at you know, play historically versus the changes you have made, what's been the impact on the amount of play you've gotten?
Well, I think we've dramatically increased the play just through word of mouth, because we consider ourselves very family friendly. So I think that's been beneficial, that you want to be able to bring your kids out and not have to worry if, you know, their shirt's tucked in or they're wearing the right thing. And we just want them to come out and enjoy the game. So it's been very beneficial. And, you know, one of the first things they've always had kind of that attitude. And when I first took over, that was the first thing everyone says, are you going to change all these things? And I said, you know, I'm not. I'm hoping I can make it better for everyone, the experience, because that's what it's about, is just having a great experience while you're here. And so the main thing is engaging the members. So I've delegated, we have a ladies golf association now. They never had that. We've had many leagues, and I've kind of delegated the people that wanted to be involved and let them run with it, and that's been great for the course.
So, Rhonda, before we let you go, let our listeners know, how can they follow you? How can they follow the golf course and all the things that you're doing, whether it's online or over social media?
Sure. Facebook, we're Riverbend Golf Links and Rhonda Ferguson Golf. And also our website, it's riverbendgolflinks.org and rhondafergusongolf.com. And my information's on there. I'm always available to answer questions, and just want people to love and enjoy the game just like I do.
That's fantastic. Rhonda, thank you so much for taking time out of your night to come on the show. I hope you'll come back and join me again sometime. I had a lot of fun with you tonight.
Thanks, Chris. No, I very much enjoy it. I've heard a lot of great things about you, and I appreciate you having me on the show.
No, I appreciate that too. Rhonda, take care. All the best to you and your family. Look forward to catching up with you again real soon.
Great. Thanks, Chris. Have a good one.
Take care, Rhonda.
Thanks.
That is Rhonda Ferguson, and again, you look her up online. Riverbend Golf Links. It's there in Jacksonville, Florida. It looks like a nice track. I've checked it out online. It really looks like they've done some great things there, and the idea that they're going more casual. No tee times, no dress code. Just come have fun. Can't get any better than that.